This video is regarding an SBA data call request related to an 8A firm's financial and operational records. We understand that this request can feel extensive and time-consuming. Our goal is to help make the process clear and manageable. TPGI is a financial management and accounting firm that specializes in compliance, financial reviews, and audit readiness, and we regularly assist firms in preparing and organizing the exact documents requested as part of SBA data calls. Our founder previously served in various positions in the U.S. Small Business Administration, which gives our team direct insight into SBA processes, expectations, and documentation standards. We work closely with clients to ensure submissions are complete, accurate, and aligned with SBA requirements. As part of the SBA data call, firms are required to submit financial and operational documentation covering the last 3 full fiscal years. All materials must be submitted in the format requested. The following steps show how to locate and export the most commonly requested SBA data call documents directly from QuickBooks Online. To begin, you will need to export your general ledger for each fiscal year in CSV format. This is the fiscal year that your company uses, not the government fiscal year. In QuickBooks Online, click on Reports in the left-hand menu. Scroll down to the section labeled For My Accountant and select General Ledger. Set the date range for the full fiscal year you need, click Run Report, then select Export and choose Export to CSV. Repeat this process for each of the last 3 fiscal years. Next is the trial balance as of fiscal year end, which must also be submitted in CSV format. This report should reflect balances as of the last day of each fiscal year, such as December 31st. From the Reports menu, search for Trial Balance, set the report period end date to the appropriate fiscal year end, run the report, and export it to CSV. Repeat this step for each fiscal year end being requested. Your trial balance should agree with the final balance in your general ledger. The IRS Form 4506 is not pulled from QuickBooks. This form must be downloaded directly from the IRS website and completed manually. Be sure to include the business owner's information in boxes 1 through 4. In box 5, list the Small Business Administration as the third-party recipient. In box 6, include the tax forms for your company and the payroll tax filing form 941 as applicable. Sign the form, and if the business is a sole proprietorship filing jointly, the spouse must also sign. Upload the completed and signed forms as PDFs for each of the last 3 fiscal years. For banking activity, you will need to submit year-end bank statements and corresponding bank reconciliations for each fiscal year. Bank statements should be saved as PDFs. If your accountant has been reconciling your bank account timely, you can run the bank reconciliation report in QBO. For bank reconciliations, go to Accounting, select Reconcile. It will give you a choice to choose the bank account and open the reconciliation with a statement ending date that matches the fiscal year end. As this is a sample company, we can't display it here. However, once opened, select View Report or Print and save the reconciliation report as a PDF. Repeat this process for each bank account and each fiscal year. Next, you will need payroll documentation. From the Reports menu, search for Payroll Register. Set the date range to the full fiscal year, run the report, and export it as a PDF. If your accountant needs to reconcile your payroll, you can run the report from QBO. However, if the reconciliation is not necessary, you will not have a payroll reconciliation report. For this, I suggest that you run either the payroll summary or payroll tax and wage summary report, depending on your setup for the same fiscal year, and export it as a PDF. Repeat these steps for each fiscal year. You will also need to prepare a list of all employees, broken out by the contracts they supported, as well as a list of all vendors, including any joint ventures. For the vendor list, go to Expenses, select Vendors, and use the Export or Print option to save the list as a PDF. Ensure the list includes all vendors for the applicable years. To obtain the list of all employees, broken down by contract, you need to export the report from your timekeeping system. For example, If you use QuickBooks Times, you may need to export the report in Excel and then use an Excel formula or a pivot table to summarize the employee's time by contracts for each fiscal year. If you don't have a sound timekeeping system, this is the time to start one. The government requires all contractors to maintain a cost accounting system that is DCAA compliant. In addition, upload copies of all active 8A contracts worked on during the last 3 fiscal years, along with any related subcontracting agreements. These documents should be submitted in PDF format. Financial statements are also required for each fiscal year. At a minimum, this includes the balance sheet, year-to-date profit and loss statement, cash flow statement, and statement of equity. Each report should be run individually from the Reports menu, using the appropriate fiscal year date range, and exported in CSV format. Repeat this process for each fiscal year. QBO does not produce the Statement of Equity report, but your accountant can use your balance sheet and the income statement to prepare the Statement of Equity report. Finally, subledger schedules are required. For accounts receivable, run the AR aging detail report as of the fiscal year end and export it to CSV. For accounts payable, run the AP aging detail report using the same date and export it to CSV. For profit and loss accounts, use either the general ledger or the transaction detail by account report. Filter for P&L accounts only and export to CSV. Ensure all subledger totals tie back to the year-end trial balance. These materials allow SBA to validate financial activity, ownership, and compliance with program requirements. We only demonstrated the most used system, QuickBooks Online. If you use other accounting systems and need assistance preparing or reviewing these items, TPGI is available to help streamline the process and support a confident, complete response.